Warning. The following may contain concepts, ideas, and/or reflections unique in nature and not yet approved by government and/or corporate entities. This content is for entertainment purposes only and is not intended to stimulate further reflection or to perpetuate additional discourse beyond the scope already outlined by institutional curriculum.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no shit, man. All right. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, no shit, you freak.
Well, this might be a little bit different. Normally, we do our videos in the morning. And today we didn't have any power, so we went to the gym, and now we're back. We had a bit of beer. And so we'll see how this goes. It should be pretty good, though. We might have a little bit more fun today. What do you think? What do you think, Father? Are we going to have a little bit more fun today?
Definitely.
So today what we're going to be talking about is the duality of silence. Does that sound weird to you?
Well,
do you not know what that means?
When you first sprung that on me, I thought, what the hell are you talking about?
Damn straight, man. That's what communication is all about, baby. Being vague and not really making any sense. So the duality of silence. Let's cue the intro, and then I will explain, young ones. Now, let's go. Intro. All right, so silence. A lot of times we value silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I've come to talk to you again.
Well, let's not try to hit that high notes, though.
Oh, the Father. Yeah, you know what? I think this is fun. Coffee is overrated. Beer is much better communicator. I think from now on we're gonna have to load ourselves with a couple pints of beer.
I could probably do with a shot right now.
We're about to get off the rails, everybody. Okay, so maybe this kind of works out though, because we're talking about silence, and clearly, a person looks at me and goes, "Well, this motherfucker doesn't like silence, does he?" But that's not true.
Only if it's coming from somebody else.
But here's the thing. There is, I know it might blow your mind, but I do believe that there is a value of silence, and I do enjoy silence myself. And I think that there's definitely a moment where you can not just the silent environment, but like choosing silence yourself and doing a little bit of listening. Shut up. I know that what you're going to say.
No, I'm doing a lot of listening right now.
But I do think, yeah, sometimes it is good to be just reflective and listen. Now, I think when we're looking at it, the old famous Mark Twain quote is, "It is better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt."
Although he didn't have an English accent.
Hey, jolly good show, chopper. Being down here in the southern United States has been quite a smashing of a good time here, mate.
Well, there's many ins and outs to Mark Twain that I think we both appreciate. But this one thing, I think we could pick it apart and
well, I think
come at it from the other side.
I think it's a good example of respecting someone. I love Mark Twain. I love his style. I think he's got some great quotes.
Definitely a funny fucker.
Yeah. Right. And so there's a lot, but I think that it goes with, just because you respect someone doesn't mean that you should never be critical of anything that they might happen to say. And
and because Mark Twain was living in the 1800s, I think he died in 1910. Well, there was a lot of things that hadn't happened yet. If he lived in 2025, what the hell would he be saying about things now?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like anybody from the past.
Yeah, happy-go-lucky Mark Twain back in the 1800s becomes a real fucking prick in 2025.
Right. You know, when America's on its tail end instead of being on a boom high.
Yeah.
And everything's flourishing and there's all kinds of land and resources back in his little story, what was it called? The Rugged Adventure or whatever. Where he Roughing It, where he heads out there into Nevada territory.
You've been just listening to it like not that long ago. Anyways.
I listen to it every night religiously. I go to sleep listening to Mark Twain because he's it's not dark, it's light.
Yeah, but this isn't like we're not doing a thesis on Mark Twain, dude. We're just
picking that one thing.
We're just picking apart this one comment because the reason why is not because of Mark Twain, but I think because of people in society that a lot of people have seemed to take in those words like wholeheartedly. And it's become like a devotion that they have towards this concept of, oh yeah, I'm gonna be reserved. I'm just gonna listen.
Never show your hand.
I'm not gonna say what I make a year.
Loose lips.
I'm just gonna let this dumb fuck just tell
mouth
me
off.
what he
Tell
makes.
us all your information, how much money you pay in mortgage, how much money you make,
and you just sit there with a little conceited smile, being like,
smiling.
You don't know.
Tell me more.
You don't know what I think, do you? But here's the problem: is that in that iteration of modernity, where we have a lot of people that they hold their silence, they do nothing but hold their silence. They don't say their opinions. They don't say how much they're making. They don't say what their perspective is. Everything is just let everybody else stick their neck out, let their head get chopped off if they stick their head out too far, and you can sit there with your arms folded in your silence and nobody knows you're this mysterious stranger who doesn't say anything.
Maybe because they don't really want to divulge what they are really all about.
Right. And so there are times where I think what the core of that statement is really referring to, and you were discussing some proverbs that had referred to it, but I think it was really...
I think there's something in Proverbs that might say something about being slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to wrath.
But see, what that's talking about is it's talking about being reflective, right? And so that's the duality of silence. That's where being reflective is a good thing. Shutting up and not saying anything because you don't want to look like an idiot, this is where I'm putting my foot down.
Right.
Mate, my foot, here's my foot, my foot is coming down now. My foot's coming down, no mate.
It's going to end up in your mouth, Homer.
So, anyways, the point is that we should be not afraid of making ourselves look foolish.
Fear not.
Right now, there's way too many people that are tight-lipped. They don't say what they're really thinking. They don't even disclose what their finances are. And you know the amount of people running around with like keeping all of this information close to their chest, and you're actually suffering for it. You're not growing because you're like insanity. The insanity of your mind that if you disclosed it openly, people would mock you for it. You need people to mock you because you need to know how insane what you're thinking is. Now, this is not for everybody, but I'm saying that when you keep everything too close to your chest, you're not...
tight-lipped society is not necessarily... what's going to be the fruit of that?
And you're not strengthening because what is the iron sharpening iron? It's two stupid people talking amongst one one another.
And then they
every
realize,
day.
boy, we're pretty fucking stupid, aren't we?
And then eventually they start getting smarter. They get better at what they're saying and formulating their ideas. But you can't just hold your mouth shut for like 20 fucking years and then expect to be like a Don Juan fucking genius when you open it after all that time.
Right.
You need to practice. You need to get your training wheels on, and a part of that is maybe looking a little stupid. Take learning another language, for example, something that we have firsthand experience with. We've not only done that in Spanish-speaking area, but also in the French-speaking Quebec, where there's hell of a lot more, historical.
They're a little bit more critical.
You got a lot of rage in ya. That's lying in the background, and because of that, you definitely have a lot more pressure placed upon you. And damn it, man, if you are concerned about opening your mouth and removing all doubt as far as appearing stupid, you're not going to advance very quickly. You're going to stay stagnating at a certain level. Eventually, you're going to have to go, you know what? It doesn't really matter if people think I'm an idiot, right? I'm going to start speaking what I have currently that I've built, my knowledge base, what I think is the right way of saying something. This is how I'm going to do it. And boom, I'm going to start learning on the fly.
Right.
You think I'm an idiot? Everybody could look like an idiot in a certain scenario, right? Anybody. You take that person out of their comfort zone.
Right.
You take them out of their,
I'm a I'm a really good chess master, and oh man, I'm such a genius.
well, yeah, you're not in your chess
You
club
can have
anymore.
have somebody doing a little fireside chat, like I think I've heard Elon Musk do recently, and sure as shit, this guy's got a team of writers. And they probably got some kind of like screen board where you can't see his eyes kind of like moving like this.
Right.
But he's nice and calm. Maybe he smoked a little bit of pot before he did it. But he certainly wasn't the same guy that you saw on Joe Rogan.
When you're just talking off the top of your head. And this
Right.
is another thing. With polishing things, you don't want to look foolish. Don't just blurt out the first thing in your mind. Well, sometimes that intuition is good, because sometimes the first instinctual thought that you have is following your gut, and sometimes your gut instinct is better than slowly formulating, because actually propaganda works pretty well when people stay silent. They just listen, right? That's exactly what a propaganda state is going to want people to do.
Well, sometimes approaching a girl that you're interested in, the first thing that comes out of your mouth might not sound too flattering,
Right.
and you might feel a little uneasy
yeah.
about it. But as time goes on, if you have the opportunity to talk to her, you're going to find
it's better.
You're a hell of a lot more confident just talking.
And not only that, it's 100%.
But you wouldn't know that
it's
if you didn't talk to her at all.
Right, and it's 100% more effective if coupling is what you're after. It's 100% more effective to approach a girl, look like an utter retard, but at least you're talking to her, rather than just sitting in a corner silently watching her. I don't know if that really ever works too well.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're wanting to get on.
Yeah, if she kind of like looks like, and talks like that too, then you're going to feel pretty comfortable going up to her and going,
Yeah, but no. So we got a lot of people that are they're afraid to stick their neck out. I mean, and to me, I see this all the time, and especially in the environment that the society has created. It's created this idea of like, oh, you don't want to be telling your fellow workers what you're making.
No,
they would be jealous of you.
You're going to be little isolated islands there, because the last fucking thing we want is for you guys to actually compare notes, and then you might actually figure out what the hell management's been doing, playing you guys against each other.
I remember when I was working in construction there, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I got a raise, and my boss is like, well, Brian, you've been doing a really good job, and
your name is Brian?
Yeah, my name.
Okay.
In this case, my name is.
Hypothetically, let's say his name is Brian, and my
dude,
name
I'm
is
advertising my fucking book, and my entire name is on my book.
Oh,
so I
okay,
mean,
yeah,
I can't.
right.
I'm not living in it, and not. The
I'm
NSA has all my information, anyways.
I used to be a lot
disclosing-
more paranoid than I am now.
So he goes, yeah, Brian.
That was heightened awareness.
Yeah, Brian, you've been doing a really good job.
Well, he sounds like a radio announcer.
It was like
this is Fraser Crane.
I used to work as one of the shoe-ins for KY 98.
KYZ 98 coming at you with all the tunes, all the hits.
Anyways, let me get on track here.
Yeah.
I just want to finish this story. So he says, you've been doing such a great job here, and I want to give you a big fat raise, right? But
how fat?
Well, I
pretty
think
damn fat.
I think I was making at the time. I think it was like $15 an hour or something, and he's gonna bump me up to like 18. So it was like a $3 raise.
Well, that actually was big. I mean,
it was.
I've had guys tell me that they're going to consider me giving me a raise, and it's going to be 25 cents for the first month.
Well, this is my story, though,
afterwards.
not your sad sack story. I mean, we're talking about my great work ethic, not your half-ass.
We used to be working people.
Okay.
We still are to some extent. I have no problem doing my own work. I would never have other people helping me move or shit like that. But anyways, go on.
Obviously, you're a big fan of the not embracing your silence. I've got a recruit here.
Okay, come on.
Let me. Now it's a big rush.
Okay, so it's a $3 raise.
So yeah, he says don't tell anybody though, because these people are gonna be jealous. But I had a pretty good rapport with people, and I got a big, wide open mouth. I mean, I'm not a silent type. So basically, I like blurt out, "Oh yeah, I just got a raise," blah 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 blah, and the guy goes, "Yeah, I got the same spiel when I was starting because I had some work experience before, and I put my foot down wanting to get $18 an hour, but he made a big deal about like not telling the other guys because might end up working out to be they might be jealous. Anyways, long story short, we end up talking. Basically, everybody that works for this fucking guy, we're all making the same amount, right? And he's making it a big deal, like we're all like keeping some like treasure, underneath our cap, right? And if we had followed that idea of, keeping things close to your chest so that, you're not telling people the $18 that you're making, making them feel jealous, right? Then we would have never found out.
Some kind of online employer psychology course on how to deal with your workers.
I was working for another company, and they wanted me to get into management. And
well, maybe they take the same course.
I mean, these are third party like generic management courses that like every corporation has.
Oh yeah, when you work for the liquor store.
No, well, yeah, but there was also the when I was working for Cooper's, but. Anyways, it's not that have a rebellious tendency and don't want to work, but I have had a lot of different employers over the course. But the point is that these different jobs, they want people to be silent. They don't want they want you to think that you're getting some like special fucking deal, right? And so your silence is because you're guarding some special thing. And in reality, you're all being paid the same amount. It's actually not that much. It's okay, but it's not great.
For construction work, considering this prick was making like $150,000 contracts to do a little bit of renovation on siding.
The one job we did,
it was
like
a few fucking windows.
No, it was a $250,000 job. But there's another thing about silence. See, if the client didn't have loose lips to disclose what they were being charged for the job, then we would have never known that they're working $18 an hour for, I think it was a 3-month job, but the whole contract was worth $250,000. Point is that people in places of establishment or in places of power, they want to implant this idea like, hey, loose lips sink ships, baby. Better just keep your head down and be quiet.
Don't communicate amongst yourselves.
Right, and it ends up being a load of garbage.
No, of course there are
bullshit.
certain situations where there's actually people you don't want to talk to.
Oh, well, but this is, and
But
so this
that's
would
your
go.
choice.
No, but this would go to the duality of silence. Is that there is times when it's there's times when it's good to hold your peace. You know, you don't want to be blurting out everything that comes into your mind. You know, calling someone a fat fuck just because that's what that's what you think at the moment.
If you feel like you're amongst friends and they've chosen you and you've chosen them, and you're hanging out and you don't feel like you can really openly share some opinions, then something is kind of wrong.
Well,
or
also,
you share your opinions,
also
but they don't want to.
There's so many different elements where you would want to stay silent, right? You know, you don't want to be, overtly rude to people. You don't want to be ignorant. You don't want to be a prick to people. All these things are good for, you know, holding your silence, keeping your thoughts to yourself. But if your main objective is to not look foolish in front of people, that I think would be, and no offense, Mark Twain, but that would be the worst time to keep your silence, because who gives a shit whether people think you're stupid?
Well, you know,
right?
the funny thing is that probably 9 times out of 10, they're also fucking stupid.
Right.
So you'd be, well, what would you be doing? Just you'd be talking on their level.
Well, and also there's the flip side that
and they go, hey, you're one of us. We didn't know that.
Well, it's kind of a black-pilled idea as well, because if you're intelligent and you stay silent forever, no one will know that you're intelligent either. If you're a great lyricist and you stay silent, no one will know that you have like any
He's
quality.
moving his
right?
lips, but I can't hear him.
So, I mean, these are things. I think we got a visitor, so I think we might. Oh, okay. It's all good. They're just putting a
little bit of sheathing on the roofie.
A new roof. I mean, we're prosperous people. We can afford to have roofs and additions put onto our apartment
it's
block.
not our building.
No, but
renters.
we're close to the wealth. We're at least within arm's reach of it, and that ain't bad.
No.
That's all you can expect out of today's day and age. So,
anyways, I guess we can wrap this up then.
I think it would be nice. I think we should do, because I'm pretty sure that like this is going to be at least in a more manageable, because lately, I mean, we've been blasting people with a lot of verbage.
Factoids.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've been keeping it like almost like 40 minutes almost every one. So it'd be nice to maybe keep this one down to like 20 or something.
It's a lot easier to process.
Maybe we'll be able to get all those people with attention deficit disorder to click on our video. They're not gonna their balls aren't gonna shrivel up to the size of raisins when they see the size of our video.
No, I mean, typically if I see somebody that's got like an hour long, he's got to have a pretty damn good fucking subject going. And when I see people who've got like a 3 hour, there's no damn way I'm going to click on that. I don't give a shit who it is. If you can fucking spit it out in 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops, because that's about as long as
3 hours later. and another thing about these long-winded motherfuckers. No,
and furthermore,
let's keep it short. This was like a little bit of a weird one because we didn't get to start it in the morning when our minds were fresh.
Actually, I think my mind feels a little bit fresher.
Well, your mind thrives off of that malt beverage we call beer.
Guilty as charged.
And so, anyways, I think we're good to go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And
Well, we won't see them, but they'll probably see us.
Well, dude, you gotta give them a line of bullshit like we're actually like their buddies, you know?
Reach out and touch them.
Most people are like,
I guess you should give them
they're completely in their own like little bubble. They don't communicate with anybody. They got their heads down when they're riding public transport. They got their headphones in. They're not communicating with any real tangible flesh and blood person. We're all they got, those poor motherfuckers.
God help them.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Live long, prosper.